What's up, everyone? It's QNIT Sports. Let's talk sports. And I am your host, Lance Powell. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Hateful Eight League and what the results were from week one. We'll also be covering my daily contest from week one to see if I won any money or not last week. Also, we'll be covering the picks that I made last week and whether or not those picks actually won or lost. And I'll also be picking my daily contest lineup for week 2 today, live, while I'm recording this, so you can see that as well. And I will also pick my lineup for week 2 within the Hateful Eight League for your viewing as well. So stay tuned. We'll get right into it. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to talk about the Hateful Eight League and what happened in week 2 as far as wins, losses, where I stand in the league now after week 1. So looking here on my screen, you're going to see QNIT Sports. We won. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about that. We won 115 points to 106 points. So we beat Jeremy's team. So that puts us in the 4th place spot. Jeremy is now in 8th place, apparently. I gotta verify that when I look at the standings below. But let's look here. Bomb Squad and Big Game Players. Man, talk about a close game. That's a close game. 5 points separating them in that game. And Big Game Players goes home with the win. Okay. So then you got Dam versus PME Pythons. Dam takes home the win. Cadero's Knights versus Raphael's team. You know, Raphael, as you can see, had the biggest blowout this week, 146 points. So that puts him in 1st place. So we look at the standings here. I'm number 4. Like I said, Jeremy's number 8. So everybody's in here. This is after week 1. You know, last week was one of those weeks where anybody could have won against their opponent, depending on who their opponent was. You know, as you can see, a lot of us scored around in the teens, the 1 teens. But yeah, it was pretty fun watching the games last week and seeing who was going to win. Yeah, so let's dive in a little bit deeper into the recap of my game with Jeremy. So Tom Brady only had 11 points. Okay. So versus Justin Herbert over there, I was a little sad about that. But luckily I had some other guys that picked up the slack. So Tyreek Hill did what he needed to do as far as getting projected points. So did McLaurin. Derrick Henry didn't get his projection. All right. Mixon got his and then some. Andrews didn't reach his projection. Cooks reached his projection. I figure he will always reach his projections. Maybe there'll be a few games where he won't, but I figure that Cooks, I mean, come on now. He's the only guy that they're throwing the ball to, like I keep saying. So he reached his projection. Boswell beat his projection, almost doubled it. You know what I'm saying? My kicker did great. And then Miami, my defense tripled his projection. You know what I'm saying? Did wonderful. So because of my defense, my kicker, anybody else who reached or went above their projections, we weren't hurt so much by Tom Brady and Derrick Henry not doing what we expected them to do. However, hopefully this doesn't continue to happen for the rest of the season because I need them to perform. That's why I drafted. All right. So that's what happened this week. And you know, it was a nail biter. I can't even lie to you. It was definitely a nail biter. Wasn't sure if I was gonna win or not. But hey, let's look at what Yahoo's recap is on my week here. So they give us this graph that shows, hey, nothing happened on Thursday, Saturday, nothing happened, but Sunday early, both of us start to get points. We're getting them, but I just continue to keep that lead and I never let it go. And so it was a great match. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like I said, AJ Brown, Justin Herbert, they gave it a tough one against us. So our top players were, like I said, my defense, Tyreek Hill, Boswell, Joe Mixon, they did their thing. And on Jeremy's team, AJ Brown, Nick Chubb, his defense did pretty well, and Justin Herbert. So looks like he had a great week. you know what I'm saying, on paper, but it just couldn't accumulate enough points. And so I don't expect that to keep happening for Jeremy or myself. So it's gonna be a tough league this year. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a close one this year. But that's what happened in week one, as far as I got a B plus, you know, that's pretty good, I guess. B plus, that's pretty good. All right. So besides that, let's look at my roster for this week. All right. Week two, I've already performed a what you would call adjustment to my roster. I dropped someone. I dropped Knox. Knox, the Buffalo Bills player. I took up who did I get? Julio Jones. I got Julio Jones instead. Okay. Reason being I have Tom Brady on my team and I needed a receiver. Um, Previously I was going to try to work out a trade where it was going to be a three-team trade. I had Mike Evans coming from one team, going to another team for uh for Allen on the Chargers. So they're going to do a swap. And then once that team got Evans, we were going to swap Evans for Mixon and Aaron Jones, and I probably was going to throw in another receiver or something just to kind of help them out. But we were going to figure out a three-way team trade where I was going to get Mike Evans, but that got messed up once Allen got hurt. So because Allen got hurt, the three-team trade goes down the drain, and so now I had to pick up Julio Jones off the waiver wire. So we're going to see how this works out for me. I dropped Knox, my backup tight end, for this guy. So when Mark Andrews goes on a bye week, I'm definitely going to need to pick up a tight end. All right. So, but this is going to be my lineup. I pretty much didn't change too much. I put Judy in. So I'm going to go Hill, Judy, Henry, Mixon, Andrews, Jones. I took McLaurin out. That's a gamble. Also taking Brandon Cooks out as gamble. Not sure if I'm going to start Julio Jones just yet. It's all based off of if this questionable comes off of him or not. If that questionable doesn't come off of him, I'm probably going to go with either McLaurin or Cooks in my flex spot. I don't think I'm gonna go with Pollard or Harris or Devontae Smith just yet. Um, Reason being their point totals. I don't trust it. I trust Julio Jones. If Tom Brady is healthy, if Julio Jones is healthy, they're playing in New Orleans. I trust them to at least get one touchdown with each other, but we'll see. Don't know for sure what's going to happen with that. So that's why I'm saying I don't know. But yeah, I'm going with my same kicker and my same defense this week. No changes there. All right. Let's go ahead and cover our daily contest. So at first in my daily contest, I was winning. I was winning big, actually. I was winning pretty big. Well, for me, I was winning big. Let's just put it. I was winning like $50, overall through all of the contests that I entered in. And I entered in a lot of them, and I ended up doing a lot more than what I anticipated I was going to do because Yahoo gave me some free credits from betting on BetMGM. So then they gave me some free credits on their platform to use. So I used those free credits in these games here, $2, $2, $2, 777, trying to kind of gain some momentum, get in some contests where people are betting higher amounts of money to see if I could, get in a higher rank, like the top 100, and kind of capitalize on getting some cash. And so at first I was doing pretty good. I was going to get some cash, but then by the end of the day, everything just went down. And so the biggest reason why I would say is my lineups just weren't up to par with the other guys' lineups. Like if you look at the winner of this contest who won $10, I mean, I'll pick a different contest the next time I run through. But like, look at these players. This guy's got 30. None of his players have anything less than 10, right? Look at me. A less than 10 here, a less than 10 here, and a less than 10 here. I mean, that hurts right there automatically. So it just didn't look pretty for my contest. And then I'll show you one more, like one of the ones where I was trying to win a whole bunch of cash. Let's see. It's the same lineup. This is a different lineup. Look, 2 points from my defense there. So I mean, I did good in these spots. That's handsome. This right here, if you take a snapshot of that, that's amazing. This isn't. My running backs literally suck. You know what I'm saying? And then my quarterback didn't do as much as he could have. So let's look at how we compare it to the guy that won $7,000. I mean, look at him 20, 20, 30, 20, 20, 30, 20, 14, and 6. I mean, you can have a 14 and 6 here if all of it. I mean, look at that, a snapshot of that. So that's what you want to see is you want to see more people faded out with the winner. For example, I mean, this is showing you how many problems we had with our lineup. We got to go to like the 30th plus page to get to the people in our scoring range just to see what we did. But I mean, we couldn't even win $14, right? Like, even if we could have won $14, like we only got one person, two things grayed out here. Like, we gotta have to win, we gotta have more people grayed out. That shows us that we picked more people like whoever won picked those same people, right? So that's where you want to be. You want to be on page one with these people who are winning these big bucks, picking the same people. Like, even if we could have just won $500 like this guy, we needed to have other people on our squad like what he had. If we would have had this same exact squad, which is not hard to pick. I mean, literally, Patrick Mahomes, Gibson, Barkley, Jefferson. You get one of Mahomes' receivers. You get an Arizona receiver. You get another receiver from Mahomes. I mean, and then you got another receiver from. No, this is actually a running back. Then you get a running back from Arizona. You see what I'm saying? So they went for that high score game. Like, they did what they needed to do. It was good. They did a good job. This guy, he got $500 from picking the lineup. Like, and so that's what we're gonna try to do this week. We're gonna try to pick a better lineup. So we're starting off with our free one. Our free one literally is free, and week to week you can win. So if you look at the completed, let's just go to the free one, the completed. So last week, this was the lineup that I put in. The guy who won $300. He had 205 points. This is the lineup that he had. Okay, so we had two people that he had grayed out. So if we would have done better and went with Porterell, like we thought we should have went with, like last week he was $11. Should have went with him. I don't know why we didn't. Anyway, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, we really could have won some money if we would have picked better. All right, so here we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and see what we're gonna do. We gotta go ahead and pick our lineup for this contest, free contest, and we need to get some points. So this is a round 2 of 18. So right now I'm in 32,605 place out of 137,109. So basically, I need to pick some team players that are going to score, but that are also going to be reasonably priced within my $200 budget, so that I can win and win big. Okay, $200 budget means I have these guys, all these different people I can pick from. I have $200 to pick. The Cooper Cup is $40. If I pick him, I'm only gonna have $160 left to fill out my roster. And so this is where the tough decisions come in, because this is why last week I didn't pick Patrick Mahomes. Because I'm like, I'm trying to find that quarterback that I can get for cheap that's going to do something, you know. So let's just start with quarterback. Starting with quarterback, the highest quarterback this week is going to be Murray, right? Highest paid quarterback. We can't pick Mahomes because I believe they're playing Thursday. I believe. I'm not sure. I believe that's why he's not here. So Mary's our top pick, $35. We also got these other guys. You got Lamar Jackson at 31, which going against Miami could be a good or a bad thing. Russell Wilson against Houston, $30. You got Tom Brady in New Orleans. You got Derek Carr, Trey Lance. I mean, you see how this is ranked, right? So for me, I like to go cheap with quarterbacks, hoping that I can score, right? Let's look at Geno. Geno last week had 17 points. He threw the ball 28 times, hit his target 23 times, had 2 passing touchdowns, and he rushed the ball. That's, I mean, this point total doesn't show the magnitude of what he had on that game. Like, of course, this should have been more. If we can get this to like 250, that helps. But having 2 passing touchdowns, rushing the ball 6 times and having 14 yards there, that could have turned into a. This guy could be a steal against a San Francisco team that, you know, you may be able to. I don't know. You may be able to sneak him in. Let's see what Yahoo wants to say. He took care of the football, right? He isn't on the fantasy radar for week 2. That's what they think. So we're gonna take their advice, but we would be sad if he goes off, right? She'd be like, man, I should have picked him. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go with Tom Brady. The reason why is because on the fly, I'm thinking here, let me do the thing that I do with my actual players on my roster and see what it looks like out here in this world. So now if I go my running backs, so that I could also pick Matt Ryan in this one, which may not be a bad idea. Like I could pick Matt Ryan here. He's a little cheaper. Him and Tom Brady performed pretty much around the same last week. If you look at the game log, he had 16. He actually had more points than Brady, right? He threw the ball 50 times. I mean, even rushed the ball a few times. Like, I don't know about that one. You might want to pick this guy up. So I'm picking him. Now let's go running back. Running back. All right. On my team, I have Mixon, so I'm picking him. I also have I was thinking about picking up Penny, right? Off the waiver wires, but I don't have him yet. So I can't technically pick him. So I'm not going to. Let's see. Who else can I choose from? I could pick Damian Harris, or I could go with Pollard. I could also go with Pollard, who flex at best, right? And they're saying that depends on the health of Dak. And Dak's out. So they don't think he's a good pickup, right? So let's listen to that and let's go here and see what they're saying about it. Touchdown dependent, right? Who are they going against? They're going against Pittsburgh, right? You think they're good for one touchdown against Pittsburgh? I mean, we got the battle of two great minds. We got, coaches Belichick and Tomlin going against each other. So there's going to be some points scored, but it's going to, or is, this could be one of those low scoring games. So I'm going to go with Harris here because he's on my team. And so I'm trying to stick true to to the method. Wide receivers. My top guy is Tyreek. I also have McLaurin. And I also have Julio Jones now. Also have Judy, right? I'm gonna go Julio Jones. Of course, it's all based off of the questionable factor, right? I'm going defense. We already know Miami. And then tight end, Mark Andrews. All right. So they're telling me I'm $3 over budget. So $3 over budget with the squad that I actually have. So that means I got some pretty good players, right? Hopefully that's what that means for next week. So I gotta shave points here somewhere. Let's see if we can get Cooks at receiver. What is Cook? We can get Cooks at receiver, and that's in budget, right? So this is our lineup. We're gonna go ahead and save these changes for our free play. Matt Ryan at the quarterback position, Damian Harris, Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Cooks, Jerry Judy, Mark Andrews, Julio Jones, and the Miami Dolphins. This is our lineup. Let's see what happens with that. Now we're gonna move on to our week 2 picks for the NFL. But before we do that, let's look at the results from week 1. So I picked Buffalo. They won. I picked New Orleans. They won by 1 point. Way to go, guys. I picked San Francisco. I went out on a limb there thinking that Trey Lance might be ready, and maybe he's just not. And so Chicago won that game. I thought Cincinnati was going to beat Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh made me shut my mouth. Mike Tomlin, I will be quiet. All right. So Philadelphia and Detroit, like I said, Detroit is going to have to shut me up before I say that they're going to win. So Philadelphia beat them by 3. All right. New England, Miami. I'm not shocked that Miami won, but I am a little shocked that New England only scored 7 points. New York and Baltimore. Definitely not shocked that Baltimore won. All right. Washington, Jacksonville. I thought Jacksonville was going to pull that one out. They didn't. I think they'll win this week, though. We'll see. Not sure. Cleveland and Carolina. Dang. I thought Carolina was going to win, and they didn't. Cleveland actually won. So, yeah, I think it was possibly a field goal. Well, I can't remember exactly, but man, sucks. Then Indy and Houston, they tied, right? So nobody gets a point there because everybody either picked one or the other. Tie wasn't an option, um, apparently. And then Green Bay, Minnesota. I picked Minnesota. They definitely did it. Kansas City, Arizona. I thought Arizona was going to win because they were at home, but apparently Kansas City had other things in mind, and they decided to go in there and take that win. Los Angeles Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought the Chargers were going to win, and they did. Vegas will win some games. Maybe next week. We'll see. Tampa Bay and Dallas. I thought Tampa Bay would win. Didn't think they would win the way that they did, 19-3, but they won. And the injuries and things of that sort. That's what makes football so unpredictable at times. And then Seattle and Denver. I definitely thought that Russell Wilson would try to get the win there, but coaching decisions prevented him from being able to be the guy at the end of the game with the ball in his hands to deliver the victory. So it is what it is there. But still, just go off and go crazy in the entire game, and you won't even be in that situation at the end of the game to where you got to make something out of nothing. But it is what I think he'll play better the weeks to come. Everybody expected him to try to win in that Seattle game. The pressure's on, all of that, but it'll be all right. Seattle pulled out a great win. Like I said earlier, the effect that Geno Smith had on that team and on that game. When you look at the stats in the fantasy points like don't really show impact because like that was a great game that he played there. Um, if you ask me. Total points 7 this week. Out of 16 picks, only got 7 points. It's pretty bad. You could really say 15, 7 out of 15 if you take away the tie game, but man, that's bad. So we're gonna try to do better. I didn't get the point totals right. None of this. I'm pretty sure I didn't get that right. All right, so let's go and look at week 2. Week 2, these are the picks that I've chosen so far, right? 88% of people picking Kansas City, right? So I'm picking it this week. I'm not picking against them this week. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers win, though. So here we go. I'm picking Cleveland over New York Jets. I'm going Washington over the Detroit Lions. I'm going New Orleans Saints over Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, I am. I'm going New York Giants over the Carolina Panthers. What? Yes, I am. I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers over New England Patriots. I'm going Jacksonville Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going there. I don't know why. I really think I probably should change that. And because of saying that on camera, I'm gonna. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be like, dang, I should have kept Jacksonville. But no, I'm changing it to Matt Ryan's gonna win that game. Miami versus Baltimore. I'm thinking their defense is going to shut down Lamar Jackson for some reason. What is my thinking? All right, I'm gonna keep the Miami. I'm gonna keep the Miami one. I'm gonna go out on a limb with that. Los Angeles Rams versus Atlanta. I'm going Rams. All right, we got Niners versus Seahawks. Seahawks. We got Bengals versus Cowboys and Bengals. Broncos versus Texans. Going Broncos. Raiders over the Cardinals. Packers over the Bears. Oh boy, really? These are some tough picks, man. I can't believe what I'm even seeing. I picked these earlier, but I'm like, man, looking at them again, I'm like, this is why you just pick them and you save it and you keep going because you'll be going back and forth all day trying to figure out which one you want to pick. And it's too many games to predict. It's 16 of them, so it's tough. But anyway, Buffalo over Tennessee and Minnesota over. I don't know why I'm picking the way that I'm picking right now. I'm just going off of gut feelings and looking at this board. I'm thinking my gut is probably wrong. Maybe not. We'll find out. But right now, I'm just like, man, I hope I get more than 7 points this week. Really, seriously. 7 points is tough. Hopefully that doesn't happen. All right. So those are my picks for the week. You got to see my lineup here for my daily fantasy. Hopefully we'll win some money this week. I may enter this lineup in a few other contests. And I'll probably create some more lineups as well. We'll see about that. And also, this is my lineup for my team going into my game in week 2 when I am facing. Who am I facing? I believe this is the big game player. Yeah, so that's James. So facing number 3 spot in the league. So if I win, hopefully that boosts me to at least 3 and maybe even higher. So yeah, thanks for watching. This has been QNIT Sports. Let's talk sports. NFL Fantasy Week 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey guys, I'm your host of QNIT Sports. Let's talk sports, Lance Powell. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content on our channel.